Hello, my wonderful children. How are you doing? I'm happy to have you online. Hope you are keeping safe. Great. Now, how are you doing? Very well. Thank you. I'm doing great as well. Great. Today, we shall be treating the subjects English language. And the topic is suffixes. 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 The topic is suffixes. Before we continue, let's do a recap of what we learned in our last class. In our last class, we talked about prefixes. We said the prefix is a letter or group of letters placed in front of a word to change its meaning. To change its meaning. And we said sometimes it changes the meaning to be the opposite of the initial word. And we look at examples. We're able to do exercise as well. I want to believe you have copied your notes, okay? Because today will be the other way or the other way around for what we did last class. Today we are treating suffixes, like I've said earlier. So let's look at our learning objectives, what we are to achieve at the end of the class. At the end of the lesson, each of the pupils should be able to explain suffixes, state some suffixes with their meaning, and change words from its initial meaning to new ones. Change words from its initial meaning to new ones. What is a suffix? What is a suffix? A suffix is a letter or group of letters. A letter or group of letters, we call it syllables. Syllables added at the end. You remember prefixes is at the front. Now this time is at the end of a word to make another word. At the end of a word to make another word. Example, why added to rust makes it to become rusty. Dumb added to king makes it become kingdom. It sometimes changes the part of speech of the new word. Remember, for prefix, it will make it to be the opposite of that word, the opposite of the initial word. Now, for suffix, it will change the part of speech. The new word will change the part of speech. It will change its part of speech from the initial word. Now, let's look at examples. Able or able means capable of being. By the time you add able at the end of accept, it becomes acceptable. Account, by the time you add able at the end, don't mix it up. There's prefix and there's suffix. Pre. Always put that at the back of your mind. Pre means before. That's the beta truth. That is just an hint. Pre means before. So when you hear prefix, just put at the back of your mind that it is before. Now, suffix at the end. When by the time you put able at the end of account, you have accountable. Achieve, by the time you put able at the end of achieve, you have achievable. By the time you put able, you have accessible. Let's look at other examples. Number 2, we can have AIN. We have said by the time is a suffix is a letter or group of letters. Now we can have group of these letters, AIN. A-N-T, E-N-T, E-R, E-E-R, I-E-R, I-S-T, O-R. At the end of a word, it will change its meaning. So by the time you put A-I-N, you have captain, captain. You can have chaplain. You can have assistants. That's meaning people who do things. People who do things. Assistants, merchants, students, parents, work as job. You put ER, it becomes worker, teach. By the time you put ER, it becomes a person, teacher. You have engineer, engine, that's automobile. By the time you put ER, it becomes a person doing that thing. Doing that thing, so we have engineer, volunteer, courier, carrier, chemist, dentist, conductor, collector. Okay, let's look at other examples. We have ANCE, arms, hands, arms, hands, dumb, wood, nest, meaning state, condition, or quality of. We have example here. We have accept. Accept, by the time we put ANCE at its end, it becomes acceptance. Admit becomes admittance. Repent becomes repentance. Differ becomes difference. Difference. Exist becomes existence. Prefer becomes preference. Free becomes freedom. King becomes kingdom. Brother becomes brotherhood. Man becomes manhood. Bold becomes boldness. Cold becomes coldness. It's changing its part of speech. Coldness. Let's look at other examples. We have EL, ET, ETT, ICLE, LING, OCK, meaning little, little. Like we have book, by the time you put LET, becomes booklets, booklets. Eagle, the small baby of an eagle is an eaglet, eaglets. We have pig, piglets, pat, particle, kitchen, kitchenettes, rose, rosettes, duck, duckling, pork, porkling, eel, illock. Let's look at other examples of letter or letters, group of letters that you can put at the end of a word. We have ESX, meaning the female. Act, act becomes actress. Author becomes authoress, authoress, or authoress. Os becomes ostress, ostress. Os becomes ostress. Full, meaning filled with, filled with. We have faith, faithful, fair, faithful, sorrow, sorrowful. Then we have FY, meaning to make, beauty, beautify, dignity, dignify, pure, purity, purity. Less, meaning without, without. Age, okay? So we have less, LESS, meaning without, without. So we are going to look at examples under that. We have less. So we have age, ageless, ageless. We have care, becomes careless, careless. We have arm, it becomes armless, armless. We have worth becomes worthless, worthless. MENT can also be added at the end of a word to change its meaning, and it means state of being, state of being. Employ will become employments. Enjoy becomes enjoyments. Judge becomes judgments. OUS can also be added at the end of a word to change its meaning, meaning full of. Anxiety becomes anxious. Envy becomes OUS. That you can have combination of letters or group of letters. For example, OUS, which means full of. And I said examples like anxiety. Anxiety becomes anxious. Anxious. And you can also have envy. Envy becomes envious. Fame becomes famous. Famous. Let's do class exercise. Let's do class exercise. I want to believe you are getting along with me. Are we together? Okay? I want to believe you are getting along with me and you are understanding what I'm saying. Do you? Great. Now, choose from each of the following the prefixes or suffixes. Sorry, the suffixes. The suffixes letter A to D, the one that can match the word in each question. We are treating suffixes. And it says suffixes is a letter or group of letters that can be added at the end of a word to change its meaning. To change its meaning. Now, let's look at what we can add at the end of this word to change its meaning. What can we add at the end of this word? Those letters that we can add at the end of this word to change its meaning. Can we put MENT there? Miniments. Have you heard of something like miniments before? You're laughing already. No. Okay, so that means that is a wrong option. We have FY, minify. No. Miniable. No. We have meaningless. Yes. Meaningless. Meaningless. So you can add LESS, which means nuts. Nuts. Meaningless. Meaningless. Okay? Good. Good. What can we add at the back, at the end of good to change its meaning? Good. We have goodless. Goodness. 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 Change its meaning. Change its meaning. So our answer is ness, not less, not goodless. Goodness. I told you, surely take note of the spelling. Goodness. Depend. Dependence. Dependence. Okay? Can we hear, have you heard of something like dependence? Dependful, dependence? No. So it's dependence. 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 So simple. So simple. All you need to know is suffix is a letter, group of letters put at the end of a word to change its meaning. To change its meaning. And always take note. Watch the video systematically and take note of the spelling. Is that taking? So you'll be able to know what and how to add letters to your word to change its meaning. In prefix, it said it will give you the opposite. In suffix, it will change the part of speech. To change the part of speech, make sure you copy your note from the net. Always read your notes. Watch the video and read your notes. Don't play away the time. Is that taken? Good. If you don't have any cause to leave your house, stay at home. And if you have any cause to leave your house, make sure you put your face mask on. Face mask on. And the good Lord will keep us. We'll meet in peace. Bye.